How's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the OGs. Been a little while, as it always is, a little while between shows. But listen, the season's starting, and we're hoping to be a lot more consistent this season. Obviously, hit up that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Let us know in the comments if you're enjoying the show. And I'm sure that'll give us some extra motivation to make sure it's at least once a week if we can do it, if not once every 2 weeks at most. But back in the building, Curtis Shaw. What are you telling me, my bro? See, I haven't seen you since Singapore.
Yeah, good to be back, man. You know, it's funny because, like, I don't know what's wrong with us and the planning. Like, even when we was in Singapore, I think we spent 8 days together. We're like, yo, let's get an OGs done in Singapore. Every day, we never get it done, you know? But, yeah, this season we got to be more consistent, even if it, like you said, every week or every 2 weeks. But good to be back, man. It's that exciting part of the season where you're excited for the games, and then you just hope they don't, mash things up on Sunday afternoon. Hopefully it goes as we hope. Yeah, do you know what I mean? So, but no, good to be here. Good to be back with you, bro. And yeah, man, let's talk.
No, we have to, man, because look at what consistency's done for you. Your channel 100K now. Big up you, my bro. I see that hit the other day. And yeah, I've been more consistent on my channel the last year, and the community's been supporting. So listen, if us two link up properly and do this properly, this show can go far. So hopefully,
you know the thing, bro. I have to big you up, because you're one of the people, and I've told you this, when we've spoke, but you're one of the people that, like, you brought me on Supporters Club when man had no channel. Do you know what I mean? There was no channel. There was no, a lot of people. Oh, what you got? What's your following? Blah blah blah. We just got on. We spoke well. We similar interests, hip hop, football, Arsenal. It was like, yo, come on the show, and those things help when you're trying to get out there. And so big up to you. And obviously, you're doing massive things, bro. Your channel's been flying this summer. The pre-recorded video with and your channel's been flying, and Big Six is flying. Big Six is massive, on the verge of 100K as well. So yeah, man, it's good to see us all, climbing the ladder and doing well and, prospering. That's what it's all about.
Real recognize real, my bro. Even though you didn't have a channel, it made sense at that time. I barely had a channel, so we've come up together in that sense. We wasn't on that original wave of the hype on socials and YouTube and AFTV. We came a bit after all of that, so we had to grind a bit different. That's what it is. But look, we're here, bro. 200K channels, and watch along wise. You're the man for Arsenal. My pre-records are doing well at this moment in time. Obviously, can't rest on our laurels, but bro, we build. But we got a lot to catch up on, bro.
Yeah.
Our last title, yeah. Obviously, it was 4 weeks ago, but our last title was Madueke, Gyökeres, and Mosquera incoming. But is it EZE and or Rodrygo next?
That's actually perfect, though, isn't it?
It's perfect.
Them three signed. Yeah. It's none of them.
Fucking EZE's talking to Tottenham. A lot can change in 4 weeks, my bro.
Ain't it funny? Like, we was in a shopping center in Singapore when the news broke about Gyökeres. Here we go, right? We're having meltdowns, like, in a happy way. We're all going mad. We've got the striker, 14. We can't believe it. I'm sitting here, I mean, what's that, 3 weeks ago, maybe? I'm sitting here now going, they're going to leave us short again. And I know people say, don't panic. There's still time in the window. And yeah, they might. But I've just got that feeling again.
Yeah.
Arsenal always leave me at the end of a summer transfer window thinking we didn't quite get everything on the shopping list. We've missed a couple of ingredients. And I just don't see how Arsenal can come out of this window without signing a left winger. Unless they're doing gymnastics on us and Madueke is the left winger. But they didn't make it look like that. They were like, oh, he's backup for Saka. But actually they tricked us, and he's going to be the starting left winger. So the EZE, I mean, we're going to talk about EZE and that, but we've got to get one more player. I actually think we're 2 players short, but one would at least give us
a bit more chance.
A bit more, yeah.
But we are 2 players away, bro. Like, let's not get it twisted. It makes us, and the people that do say, calm down and all of that, those are the same people that September 2nd will say, stop talking about the transfer window. It's gone.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so it's a rolling thing with these, man. I just don't get it because essentially, bro, you are right. In a summer where we signed Gyökeres and Zubimendi, we should be, raring to go. And
Yeah.
I get the whole don't look at your opponents thing, right? But if I feel, we feel that we're still one or two players away from being complete. The only way you can really judge complete is not only by looking at your team, but looking at the opposition as well. And when you
Yeah.
look at Liverpool, who won the league and the business they've done and might still do in the next few weeks, it looks like two more defenders are coming in. It looks like ISAK will probably, land. We'll talk about him in a bit as well. And then you look
Yeah.
at Man City, who have also done good business, went quiet for a little while, but it looks like they're about to do some business again. Let's see how that one unfolds. You can only just look and think, complete can change. You might feel like, all right, you got the pieces in, but once your competition makes a move, you might now be a piece away because of what they've done. And
Yes.
so either way you look at it, if you just look at it from an Arsenal perspective and say, all right, what was we missing last season? How did the season end? What were the reasons and or excuses? And you look at what we've done, I'm underwhelmed. But we've got Gyökeres and Zubimendi, who I think are two top players, by the way.
Yeah.
But it just still feels like we're still two players away all the time, bro. This is what happened with Wenger. How many years?
When you look at it really, right, Zubimendi and Gyökeres might have got us to where Liverpool were last season. In the sense of Gyökeres might have got us 10 more points if he'd scored 20 goals. We might have turned a few of them draws into wins. When people say just concentrate on yourself, don't look at, no, you do have to look at what they're doing as well, because what they do can have an effect on us. So it's almost like Zubimendi and Gyökeres got us to where Liverpool were last season, but then Liverpool have took 2 or 3 steps forward again. So our window that we were going, this window looks really good. We've got the striker, we've got this, we've got that, a few squad pieces. Liverpool's window's so extravagant that you're going, we've actually got to do something else. Like, we've got to add another piece to that puzzle, because I was saying this yesterday. If Gyökeres gets injured, which, listen, we hope he plays all 38 games, but reality players can get injured. If Gyökeres gets injured, we've got the same front three as last season. Saka, Martinelli, Havertz. Nowhere near good enough to win the title, right? So you can't be one injury away from the same attack. Well, unless he throws Madueke on the left, but we need more attacking options. That attack needs revamping. I think Arsenal fans, and I've done it at times as well, like, we get caught up emotionally in players and what they've done, and then we hang on to that season. Like, we can't keep talking about Martinelli's 22-23 season. We can't. It's what about 23-24, 24-25? You know what I mean? We're going, yeah, what if Martinelli can? No, forget that. If Martinelli ain't good enough, bench him or sell him. That's how you got to move. Pep Guardiola paid 100 million for Grealish. He won him a treble. He's not performing at the same level. Thank you very much. Off to Everton on loan. Now, I'm not saying we should loan out Martinelli. We would need to sell, but we can't wait around for these guys to come back to the level they were at 2 years ago. Like Odegaard, for me, Odegaard this season's make or break for him. One bad season with an injury, I mean, you can just about get away with that. You can't get away with 2 bad seasons at a top level club.
No.
You've got to be then benched or moved on, or have serious competition for your place. So for me, the Eze signing, I always viewed him as an Odegaard competition rather than the left wing solution. So, which is why I've said many times, I think we need 2 players, because Eze would have been attacking mid depth, and I would have still gone for Rodrygo, Leao left wing. So it's
because even in midfield, you mentioned a Gyökeres injury. Even in midfield, a Rice injury, a Zubimendi injury. We haven't got. I mean, people talk about the depth building this summer and all of that stuff, and then some people, all of a sudden, because I've been saying, listen, it's essentially 5 out, 6 in, right? But then people will say, "Oh, you're being disingenuous because the quality of players has gone up now." What? Like at the end of the day, Neto played like 97 minutes for us last season. I don't expect Kepa to play much for us. So that's a like for like. It's a backup goalkeeper. Mosquera and Tomiyasu, I like the look of Mosquera. I can't lie to you. I like the look of Tomiyasu too anytime he played. You know, the problem with him was availability. Who told us to give him a new contract when he was injured? Yeah, we decided to do that. So I'm sorry, I'm not going to take that away now because we decided to take that risk then.
Yeah.
So yes, Mosquera comes in for him. Norgard and Zubimendi come in for Jorginho and Partey. Pretty much like for like molds, let's say. And then you have, who's the other one? Madueke for Sterling. Okay, maybe I'm being a bit disingenuous there. But again, I'm not going to let the club off lightly for bringing in Sterling and acting like that was good enough last summer. In the end, yes, he didn't play enough minutes. He was barely a player for us. I get that. Madueke is due more minutes and he's going to have more game time. I get that. But I'm not letting the club off for bringing in Sterling and having him there as a numbers, then telling us we haven't got the numbers at the end of the season when we don't achieve. That's where how they keep on getting away with it. And this is without me mentioning Tierney, who played some minutes at the end of last season too. So you could argue he's 6 out, 6 in right now. But I'm not going to say that. Tierney didn't play enough. Cool. So right now we're one man up, essentially. One man up on last season. So, you know, the common consensus was we need 3 players minimum. 3 players minimum on top of what we had last season. That's why we're still 2 players away.
Yeah. And listen, I always say hope and expectation are 2 different things. Every Arsenal fan hopes we're going to win the league. I don't think many Arsenal fans genuinely think we're going to win the league right now. Like, really, really believe that window wins us the title, because there's a lot of competition and a lot of teams have strengthened a lot as well. And the area we needed to strengthen heavily was the attack. And realistically, we've brought in Zubimendi for Partey, which I think is similar quality of player but different profile.
Yeah,
Gyökeres is a significant upgrade on Marino and Havertz, so that's the one.
And that's on top of them anyway. So it's
that's
like
on top,
position even.
Yeah. And then what? Madueke might end up on the left. I mean, so the other day I did the watch along for that game, and people were going, you know, Madueke on the left looks decent, blah blah blah. I said, Arsenal have got this habit of you're aiming up here, they get something down here, and they make you accept it and enjoy it. And then when you don't win, so we started the summer saying Rodrygo's the top target. They want Rodrygo. Arteta loves Rodrygo. We end the window going, oh, Madueke looks good on the left because he can put a cross in that Martinelli ain't putting in at the moment. It's like they starve you and then give you a meal that you didn't want, but because you're starving, that meal looks great now. Do you know what I mean? It's like, why is Madueke on the left-hand side acceptable when Chelsea effectively said, you're going to be, I mean, they've got Palmer, Esteval, Gittins all ahead of him. Neto as well. You could argue that Madueke is Chelsea's 5th choice winger. I don't think he would have played ahead of any of those 4 wingers, considering they've just signed 2 of them. So we've signed their 5th choice right winger to play left wing for Arsenal. He can help, but he shouldn't be starting there if you want to win a league title. And then you see Man City are looking at Rodrygo at the end of the window, but we've now got to sell players to buy players when we've still got gaps in the squad. So it's
once upon a time I said this Havertz move will define, could be the not the nail in the coffin, but it could be what we look back on and say this, was the beginning of the end for the process or whatever, right? And I've barely forgiven for that move anyway, because I think financially it's still, a burden upon us that we're struggling to get around, and hence why you got people now saying Madueke is a good signing because he's on 50k a week. I've never heard such nonsense in my life, so I don't. Man, I'm saying he's a good signing because he's on 50k a week. But yeah, I've barely forgiven for the Havertz signing. We've gone and done Madueke. Yeah. And this ain't nothing. Again, we'll caveat it. It's not Madueke's fault. It's nothing on Madueke. It's what we have decided to do. We made him our 2nd, 3rd highest signing of the summer. Yeah. One of the 3 players coming in that's expected to improve us off the back of last season. Now, I'm one of the people that said against Bilbao, it was refreshing to see him because he's a bit different to Martinelli and Trossard. Yeah. I said, but at the same time, I said, we've been starving on that side. So, you know, you give man peanuts, I'm gonna enjoy it because, you know, I need something. And that's essentially what it is. We haven't seen enough to say, all right, that's the main. He's gonna become the main on that left-hand side. We've seen something different to what we've been getting for the last 2 years. And you know, to be honest, if it wasn't United on Sunday, I think Martinelli does well in big games, right? So I think Martinelli should start on Sunday. But if it was Leeds on Sunday, if it was Nottingham Forest or just someone that we should be beating, I'd probably say Madueke should start because it's something different. And the sooner we find out what the hell the plan is with him and whether this plan is going to work or not, because now this one looks like the defining point of the process. Because Gyökeres or Mendy, we're all happy with. It's the Madueke one that was meant to complement not only those two signings, but the rest of the side too. Will he be that? Will he be that guy?
And you know the thing, bro? Like sometimes it's not just the signing; it's the effect that it has. So if we'd done everything, if we'd got the left winger, the striker, the centre mid, the squad pieces, and they dropped Madueke at the end of August, you'd go, well, I'm not that happy with it, but it's just an addition. It's a squad piece. I can deal with it because we've got what we needed. The problem now that people are having with the Madueke deal is we're seeing, we can't buy Eze because we don't have any money left and we need to sell Fabio Vieira and Nelson. A story comes out today in The Athletic. Zinchenko's willing to run down his contract at Arsenal because Arsenal can't sell him. Well, that's funny, mate. The guy was on 25 grand a week at Manchester City and you gave him 150. So when AC Milan came in for him and said, we'll take Zinchenko to replace Theo Hernandez, they turned around and went, 150 grand a week? No, we'll leave that. That's what our top earners get. We can't give a left back 150k. So then they turn around and go, I'll see out my contract because I ain't getting 150k anywhere else. And then a 35 million pound player fizzles out to nothing. The same way Partey fizzled out, Aubameyang, Lacazette, and so on and so on. So this is why Arsenal, unfortunately, we've improved in the market, but we are still miles off doing what's necessary. The reason Liverpool are spending 400 million and blowing up the market is because they've sold 200 million pounds worth of players. We've made £6 million in this window, which was an obligation on Nuno Tavares. We can't sell Fabio Vieira. We can't sell Reece Nelson. We can't sell Zinchenko. If you notice, every time somebody wants to buy an Arsenal player, it's a loan bid. Kivy or Porto wanted him on loan. Fulham want Nelson on loan. Everybody wants them on loan because they're not sure. They go, well, with that wage, we're going to have to look at them for a year before we decide whether we can buy them. Liverpool sold
you think it comes down to the wage then? Because I was going to ask.
Has to be, bro. Zinchenko's not a great left back. He's a decent player. Like there were rumours that Mourinho wants him at Fenerbahce to play in midfield.
The Fenerbahce fans, a lot of the Fenerbahce fans have kind of flipped about that though because of his whole stance on. I
saw that.
I don't know.
I don't know if that one will happen. Yeah, I saw that as well. But what I'm saying, listen, Zinchenko's not a bad footballer. He could get a decent club, but clubs ain't going to give him 150 grand a week. So we get into a situation where there's only so much we can do because we're still struggling to get players off the wage bill from 3 or 4 years ago. Where Liverpool and Chelsea, the way they sell players, it gives them so much freedom to go and buy whoever they want, and
there's risks that these men just don't want to take though at the same time, because I'm sure in January when our PSR stuff come out in terms of the new PSR year starts in July or whatever, Arsenal can still spend up to 90 million pounds. Do you remember that coming out?
I remember that. Yeah.
So basically from January up until June 30th or whatever, we could have spent 90 million, stayed within the remit and, within the laws and the letters and all of this nonsense. We chose not to do that, right? Where we could have utilized that window of PSR, whatever it is, brought in a player for a particular, fee and whatnot. And it would have, even though that player comes in, even if it was June, let's say, it's a summer signing, but on the books, on the letters, it's last year. So then that will surely allow us to do a bit more this year if the plan is to win. Because when you think you can win, when you know, put in that extra 100 mil, let's say, if you go and win that season, the books balance all of a sudden, if not push you in the green a lot more. But it's, do you want to take that risk? Because self-sustainability got us to where we was in 2019, our first loss-making year as a football club in history, right?
Yeah.
2019, self-sustainability got us there. So I don't get how people question me or fans like me asking them to actually go in and try now the other way. The other way being, spend what you need to spend, start winning, build that foundation. Off that foundation, you don't need to spend as much anymore because you've got winners in the side, growing with the side. So here and there, you pick and choose. Then you can go back to your self-sustainability. Once you've built a team with world-class players that have won stuff, that can lead in the next generation, you can buy your 2 young players this summer or bring through, because the foundation for them, the foundation for us is a lot better. But man, still make excuses for these owners. And don't get it twisted, I ain't taking the heat off Arteta either, because he signed a big contract last year, and he's changed somewhat the way he speaks. And you know, like once upon a time it was don't be satisfied with second. Now when asked about, you know, the need to win, he's very much like, well, there's a few clubs that need to win and all. Well, okay, that's changed a little bit since, you know, since that rookie manager coming through, and Arsenal should be winning titles. You're saying all of that. I know how the game goes. So Arteta's got a lot of pressure, and to be honest, it's make or break for him. You know, this season, Madueke signing, just in general, it's make or break. We have to come out of this season with something. You know, with all due respect, you can enjoy the turnaround that he was part of, and he aided, he led, and you can give credit for that. But at a certain point, like we saw the previous era go stale through actions like we've done in the windows we've just seen, the last 3, for example, the same will happen to him. So let's learn, as a fan base as well, that at this moment we're going down the same road that it went with Wenger, but without the titles that Wenger brought.
Yeah. Do you know what? Yeah, I honestly think that if he gets top 4 and puts us in a title race, I think he'll keep his job. Because the way Arteta talks and the way I think he will justify that to the ownership, right? Arteta said on tour that 8 teams can win the league. He said there's 8 clubs in the title race. That already, to me, sounds like you're building some protection around yourself, because we all know there's not 8 teams in the title race, right? We know that. I think he would sell it to the board. If Liverpool won the league, who you would say are the favourites at the moment, let's say they get ISAK, I think he would turn around and say, well, they won the league and they spent 400 million. How can I compete with that? You know, I got as close. I spent 200. They spent 400. You know, I kept us competitive. Probably got to a semi-final because ultimately, and this is something that I like what you do, you continue to look at the ownership, because Arteta can only get away with what the owners are willing to accept. Arteta wouldn't get away with this under Roman Abramovich. We know what his mentality was like as an owner. The Kroenkes are allowing him to get away with it because realistically, he signed another, 6, 7 players. I saw something now. He signed 39 players since he took over. 39 players, bro. That's like 3 teams, nearly 4 teams you've signed. He's over 900 million at the moment. So what are the consequences? Because surely at a top football club with that much time, that much money, and 5 years of no trophy, there should be a consequence if you don't win something. But because they are now making profit again, we are finishing second. You've got to remember, right? I got a friend who works at the Armory, right? He said to me that the Villarreal game the other day, not Villarreal, Bilbao on the weekend, it was the biggest selling day in the history of Arsenal at the Emirates Stadium. They made nearly 500,000 in one day. They've sold out of Gyökeres. You know the O with the 2 dots above it? They've sold out. Like, people have ordered online. They haven't got this shirt because they don't have the O with the 2 dots. They're telling people you can have the regular O. You can't get the O with 2 dots. They made nearly 500,000 in one day. He said people are coming in the shop Yeah, I've never even watched this Gyökeres play, but give me Gyökeres 14 on the back of the shirt. They can't keep the shirts on the shelf. That white third kit selling out all over the place. Nearly 500,000. So the fans are buying into it. They're excited. We've signed a proper striker. They like the kits. You know, the sun's out. Everything's great. So there has to be a time where the club say, right, it's time to win. Because I always talk about the Kroenkes, and I've heard interviews what he's done before where he's saying, you know, the Nuggets need to win a championship. They did win a championship. But you never hear him say Arsenal need to win the Premier League. We don't hear that kind of, they don't put that pressure on each other. You know, and that's why I don't think, a lot of people go, Arteta will be gone by November, December. I don't think he will. I think as long as we're in the mix, it'll be fine.
Top four, you're not wrong. I think Champions League football is because like you said, I don't look at it as the owners are letting him get away with things, because from the owner perspective, it's this guy has made us or helped make us a profit-making company again that can go down the self-sustainability route, which is essentially back to square one. Hence why I keep on saying over the years, let's get back to square one, and then let's see if these owners are really about their, you know, words and you know, this whole Josh be excited stuff and all of that. Let's see if they're really about it. Remember the years ago, even our fans deluding themselves. Oh, Rams have won something, Nuggets have won something, it's us next.
Yeah.
Or when we were saying Klopp won in his 4th season, or, you know, whatever it is, like, it's just, we're always trying to cope by finding the best possible comparison. When reality, just the best possible comparison to where we are right now is many of Wenger's summers in the Emirates era. You can take a 2011 one, you could take a 2012 one, a 2009 one, 2014, where we've never really done enough to take that top 4 finish and get over the line and finally win it, or finally actually show ambition to win it. We ain't got no divine right to win it, but we've got a right to feel like we can win it. And by win it, I don't mean we can win it if they don't gel together well, if Pep doesn't get a tune out of Turkey. I mean, we can win it because we've done what we needed to do to feel like we can win it. Do you get what I'm saying? Not taking from other teams' potential failures. Even this whole, what's this? Like, talk to me, bro. I'm seeing Arteta's got a director of performance role at Under Armour or something. Is this true?
Yeah. I saw that. Fabrizio tweeted it, did he? Fabrizio tweeted it, yeah.
So this is true?
Oh, no, it's true. It's true, bro. He's actually done a short interview about it as well. Developing young players.
How are you taking on more roles, brother? Win the league. What's going on? This reminds me of Bellerin. This sort of move is straight out of Hector Bellerin's book, but this is our manager. I'm sorry, Mikel, you shouldn't be doing side quests, side missions. This ain't GTA. Win the league, then do what you want. Win the league and go Calvin Klein it. I don't give a toss what you do outside of it. Similar to players, do what you need to do for the club, the name, Arsenal, and then you can model what you want to model, right? I didn't give a toss. Freddie Ljungberg was prancing about in briefs for Calvin Klein because guess what? Freddie Ljungberg
scoring in cup finals.
He could do that. Big up him. But don't be signing Under Armour deals, director of performance and youth and whatnot. When, brother, like, we got work to do right now. This is make or break season. The guy's protecting. Listen, at least if it doesn't go well for him, he's got something to bounce back on. Then maybe that's his future.
Bro, let me tell you something. Yeah, that he's on 15 million a season, right? Second highest paid in the league. We ain't won a trophy in 5 years. Do you think this looks like a manager under pressure? If he felt like, yo, if I don't win a trophy this year, I'm getting sacked. This guy's standing in a London office holding up an Under Armour football. This collaboration is the perfect opportunity for me to work with a partner committed to making young athletes better. That's his direct quotes. So maybe during international breaks and when you get a bit of time, you're going to do some work with Under Armour and try and help develop young players. Brother, you ain't won a trophy in 5 years. You ain't got no time to be developing young players and putting out Under Armour T-shirts and that, bro. You better win a Carabao Cup before you start talking about Under Armour. So I think that tells you this guy is relaxed, bro. He knows, yeah, my team's good enough to get top 4. 15 million a season's dropping in. Why not get another £2 or £3 million a season from Under Armour? He's chill, bro.
Maybe I've missed something. Go on.
I reckon Arteta will sign a new deal in the next 12 months.
Does Pep and like Inzaghi and Conte and do they have side missions too? Like, is this unique? I need to know, bro. I need to know, because you're right, bro. He's top 3 highest paid manager in the world. I need to know, is this normal? Because you're already paid, you know, in your field without trophies. You're paid amongst men that have won multiple trophies across years, and there's still side quests going on, bro. Focus, bro. I need focus this season. Focus, because I want Arteta to win. I want Mikel Arteta to win. I want us to go unbeaten again. Invincible Part 2. Mikel be the manager for that. This is what I want, because Mikel wins, we win. You know, we win, Mikel wins. That is what I want. But is this normal? Is this normal? Like, I don't understand. You cannot be taken on. International break is a time for you to get your head down and readjust, refocus. You know, not go and start finding youth for Under Armour. What's this about? We're even sponsored by Adidas. What do they feel about this?
And by the way, like you said, bro, I don't mind managers doing things on the side, but you got to make sure your actual job is working first before you know. Other managers, I think they say Pep had a restaurant or something, but listen, he can do what he wants when he's just won 4 Prems in a row. But it doesn't surprise me with Arteta, man. Arteta is, you can tell Arteta's very focused. You know, he's going to make sure his career goes the right way and he makes a lot of money out of it. And, you know, I think it doesn't surprise me that he's signed this deal. But again, these things will come back and bite him if he doesn't win, because people will say you should be concentrating on Arsenal before standing in on Under Armour. But yeah,
I'm still confused, bro. I'm reading stuff in the background. I'm trying to find out, is this normal? But yeah, we're not getting there. Even this, my brother. Listen, if I find something that makes me 10 mil a year, I'm focusing on that 10 mil a year, brother. Yeah, it's a very different circumstance to doing streams on multiple platforms. But yeah, that is crazy to me. I just don't understand it. But yeah, cool. EZE Tottenham, do you think that happens?
I think there's a chance. I think there's a big chance as well, by the way, because they've got the money right now. Like, they're saying the Gibbs White money is now ready to be spent, and Maddison's done his ACL. I think he's out till March. Listen, I think EZE will be sitting there going, I will go to Arsenal if they get that deal done. But the fact we've taken so long to even make an offer, I think tells you that we're not in a good financial position. We've spent nearly 200 mil. We've made 6 million. So, like I said yesterday,
brother, sell the under 23s back to yourself. Sell some hotels. Sell the women's team. Refinance something. How do Chelsea do it? Do what they, just to make up an extra 100 mil, bro. Sell something to someone and let's just get this money up, because I don't get how other teams do it, bro. They're selling things internally, then they'll bring 100 million worth of talent in. Why can't we do that?
Listen, I agree. Again, it's the way we manage the club, innit? I think we haggled with Gyökeres for weeks and weeks and weeks, but we were lucky that he was clearly wanted Arsenal. Under all circumstances, it was Arsenal.
Yeah.
But again, look, that deal didn't run smoothly. Like, agents had to give up money and he had to go on a little strike, and it was a very messy transfer in the end. I just don't think EZE is going to wait, is what I'm saying. Because if you're EZE right now, he's 27. This is the time for him to move. Gahey looks like he's going to go to Liverpool. Palace didn't get Europa League, ended up in Conference League. If Tottenham throw that money on the table and say, look, you can come here, play in the 10 role, Maddison's out, World Cup year, double the wages, he's on 100 grand a week. if Arsenal are umming and ahhing and saying, "Oh, we'll come back to you in 3 weeks and see if we can sell some players," I don't think a player would take that risk, because that could end up with him being stuck at Crystal Palace. So I think Tottenham are going to put the money up, and then it's a case of whether Arsenal put the money up as well. I think if we put the money up, he comes to Arsenal. If we don't, I think he ends up at Tottenham. So, and then you've got big questions, because if this is the guy that Arteta's identified and there's been a release clause, why did they not get that deal done?
I don't buy that.
You don't?
You know, this whole Arteta is obsessed shit we hear. Arteta is obsessed with Rodrygo. Arteta is obsessed with Eze. No, Arteta was obsessed with Havertz. Arteta was obsessed with Rice. Arteta was obsessed with Zubimendi, with Madueke. Why can I say this, and why are they facts? Because look how we moved to get them in. Whether it was getting the groundwork done in January for Rice and Zubimendi, or whether it was the way we quickly bid, probably above the necessary to secure Havertz or Madueke, that proves an obsession. Not some fucking journalist saying Arteta is obsessed with this player. Arteta was obsessed with Zubimendi and Madueke this summer. Yeah, everything off the back of it is questionable. Was it Gyökeres? Was it Sesko? Who knows? You know, Mosquera and all these good recruits, but we're talking, you know, the big fees. So for me, this whole he's upset. No, show me you're obsessed. Go get him. Arteta was asked about Rodrygo in the first week of the window, saying, you know, Liverpool getting Verts, Rodrygo seems to be available. Like, you know, getting to this stage, is it about being able to draw in the world's best talent? Arteta's like, yeah, this is you know, when you're in this position, you've got to make the best of it, the most of it. Then you sign Madueke. I'm tired of it.
It's true. I suppose the obsession is, you know, the player you get done and getting it done quickly. That's when you show you're obsessed, did it? You know?
Yeah.
It's like when you meet a girl and you really like her. You're active, like you're sending messages. You're saying, "Yo, let's go out, let's do this." You know, when you're not that bothered, you drop that odd little message. "I'm not that bothered." You know what I mean? So he was. You know what I mean? He was obsessed with Madueke, right? Because that deal got done within about a week. And Norgard and these deals happen quick. So was he really? Because again, you think to yourself, don't you, Ed? If you was obsessed with Eze and he's had a release clause all summer, why did you not sign him before you signed Madueke? He must have known after buying Madueke and Gyökeres that, yo, bro, you're running out of money. It looks like we maybe had 200 million. We're close to 200 million. And now the club have obviously said, to spend anything significant now, you're going to have to sell players. Do you know what I mean? And that's why we look a bit stuck now to get anything else done. I think Arsenal's plan was, Eze's going to come to us. He's probably already said, "I want to go to Arsenal." So they thought, you know what, we've got till the end of August. We'll take our time, sell Fabio, sell Nelson, we'll get some money, we'll get him at the end of the window. But the Maddison injury has made Tottenham go, we need a 10 right now. Gibbs White money's there, make the offer. Eze's agent's probably saying, look, Arsenal is his priority, but he will come to Tottenham. He will make that move. It's still Champions League football. So we've had a positive window so far, and I just hope they don't end it in a way that makes it feel negative, because I've said all summer they need to focus on the start of the Premier League season rather than the end of the transfer window, because if we don't get a good result at Old Trafford and we get beat at Anfield, the transfer window ain't going to save you, bro. I genuinely think if we lose to Man United on Sunday, he's going to be under pressure straight away. People are going to say, what? 15th place Man United, who signed the striker that you turned away from in the end. And if they beat us, bro. So I hope for everyone's sake that we beat Man United on Sunday, because that pressure will ramp up very quick.
And part of our hope, or part of the hope we have, whether a large or small, comes from that record against the big six sides. Even regardless of our you know, inconsistencies last season, we still managed to hold on to a record where they haven't beaten us for a couple of years. If we go to game week 1 and lose that record, on top of, in my opinion, what is an underwhelming window, it's a mad one, because I keep on thinking Gyökeres, Zubimendi, and I'm saying underwhelming. But I just can't, you know, I can't give this window more than a 5 out of 10 at this moment in time. I don't know what you'd give it right now, but I can't.
I think the other day I said 6, but the more the days are going on, it's
I said
kind of
6 a few weeks ago. Yeah.
It's fizzling out because when Gyökeres came in, I was like, yo, it's a 6. You drop someone else on that, then we're talking 7s, 8s, 9s, depending who the player is. I also expected a few players to be sold by now. I'm now sitting here a few weeks later going, Gyökeres deal's great, but that's kind of fizzling out now. Like, that excitement's worn off. You know what I mean? We still do not have a good enough left winger. I still think people say we've addressed the depth, but I still think some of the depth is not that good, if you know what I mean. You can have numbers that looks like you've got depth because you've got 4 centre mids, so you go, yeah, I've got depth. But if Declan Rice got injured long term and Marino steps in that role, is that really depth? It's a noticeable downgrade. If Zubomendi comes out and Norgard comes in, I think Norgard's looked all right in pre-season, but I don't think he's that good either. You know, I don't think on the ball he could boss a game in the 6 the way Arteta wants to play. So is that great squad depth? And, you know, we've heard this term good business. This is the new, you know, magic term. Oh, that's good business, which really is the way of saying a cheap signing is good business. You know, Norgard's good business. But is he that good, though? You know, they're saying we wanted Paulinho and we couldn't get him. So we signed Norgard. Then Paulinho goes to Tottenham on loan with an option to buy, which is an unbelievable deal because effectively you've got him for a year. You can chuck him back there. Do you know what I mean? Oh, it's good business. I've even heard Mad Wakey people say it's good business because apparently the payments are over 5 years. We've hardly paid anything. And like you said, oh, he's only on 50 grand a week, which I don't even know if that's factually true because where has that actually been printed? What wages he's getting? So the mental gymnastics, the way it's like a coping mechanism with Arsenal fans, isn't it? You know, of how we deal with things when we're not quite happy with it. We justify it by looking at the wages
and these same people that say good business will turn to me and ask me, am I an accountant when I talk about wages? Are we talking good business or not? Because there's some bad business we can talk about, but as soon as we talk about that, are you an accountant? But I don't know why we do it to ourselves.
Yeah.
This ain't a crash. Like Arsenal is a major, whether you're looking at it from a football club sense, the history, the heritage, the names that have played over the 100 years, the trophies, or whether you're looking at it from a business and brand sense, up there with the very best, regardless of not really doing what we should be doing on the pitch in the last 20 years. It's a major billion-dollar company, football club, business, entity, whatever you want to call it. But a lot of our fans treat it like it's like a daycare. I don't, you know, you can't talk bad about it. You must be positive. You can't question it. You have to just ride it out. It's just crazy to me. It's absolutely, I don't understand how they've got us in a position like this. I mean, Wenger played a part in it because we trusted Wenger so long. You know, whether right or wrong off the back of what he did for us in his first 10 years at the club. But I still think that the damage from that era, you know, is still very prevalent now. Like the way we are, you know, like I said to you earlier, the same people that are saying, oh, the transfer window is not over, will be the same people on 2nd of September saying, stop talking about the window, it's closed. How do you debate someone like that? How do you come to some sort of mutual, even agreeing to disagree when it's nonsensical, some of the things they do or make reasons and excuses for?
Like and bro, the thing is, all these things have an effect. So when people go, "Oh, you're an accountant," like, bro, like the finances affect the club moving forward. You can't just sit there and go, "Oh, I'm a football fan, but I'll ignore the finances." Like the finances are going to affect what your club does moving forward, and especially when you're creating content and you delve a bit deeper into everything that's happening, so that you can make content around it. These things are important and they have an effect on what we do moving forward. And the thing I would say, listen, there'll be people in the chat going, you know, it's not a bad time and you two are having a moan about it. But the question that I ask everyone is, do you think Arsenal are going to win the league or the Champions League with the current squad we've got? And I don't think we are. And I think a lot of people would say, I don't think we are either. We hope, but I don't think we are. Now, if you're starting a season as a fan of Arsenal and you don't genuinely believe that we're going to win the Champions League or the Premier League, then to me, something has not gone right in that transfer window. Something has not, because we're supposed to come out of this window saying, I think we can win the Premier League. I think we can, because we've addressed the issues, and I've got that belief. And like you said, we always seem to need something to go wrong somewhere else for us to benefit from it. We heard for 3 years, if Pep drops off, Arsenal will clean up. Pep dropped off, we never cleaned up. Liverpool won the title, 10 points. Now we're hearing, oh, if the two, things that I've been getting messaged, oh, watch the Community Shield and Liverpool's fullbacks didn't look great, they looked open. So now the new narrative is, if Liverpool's new signings don't click, we might win the title. But what if they do click? Oh, we can't win it. They're it's too much. They've done too much. So when are we going to have the chance to go, you know what? That window is so good and so strong. I think we can beat Liverpool. I think we can beat Manchester City. We're always hoping for someone else's downfall for us to benefit. And then even when they have had downfalls, we still haven't benefited. So listen, we're not entitled to win a league title. Only one team wins it. But I think with Arsenal being one of the biggest clubs in the amount of money and the ticket prices, 3 title challenges in a row, you're supposed to go into a season believing you can win a league title. So why, as fans, do we go into? I'm basically going into a season going, well, let's see if we can win the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup, because I don't think we're going to win the Prem, and I don't believe we're going to win the Champions League. But there's fans out there telling me we've got a generational manager, we've got world-class players, according to a lot of these fans. He's had nearly $1 billion. These are the same fans that were going £1 billion bottle jobs Chelsea. But Chelsea have just won 2 trophies. You know what I mean? Well, no matter what you think about them trophies, they've won 2 trophies. And I think they'll probably be in the mix this year as well. So we can't say, oh, look at them, silly club spent $1 billion, and then go, actually, we've spent $1 billion. So where's our trophies? So,
we're not entitled to win it. We're entitled to feel like we can win it because of our. Yeah, but the same can be said for Chelsea. The same can be said for City, Liverpool, and United, funnily enough, even though they are where they are. The club they are, the stature, the history, the heritage. As fans, they are entitled to believe they can win it every year. There's some way off that right now, and that's the reality of it. But once you're back in and around this conversation, which they should always have been, be, whatever, then you're entitled to feel there's an entitlement to believe you can. Not that you will, because there's so many clubs that do what they need to do to go win it. So people, there's a balance to it. Let me get in some of the super chats. We've got 20 or so here from members and the community. Nearly 50 minutes in. 3.3k in the building. People, let's get to 1,000 likes, because I don't even think we've touched 600. No, we haven't touched 600. Let's get to 1,000 likes while we do the super chats and the member comments. And Damia says, big up Turkish and Big C. If we don't get the winger we need, all blame lies on Arteta for prioritizing Madueke. I agree. BB says, how quick we completed the Madueke deal. Arteta out. Going back to the pace of it and the obsession. Why is Robbie not very realistic about transfers? There has been no diagnosis for Robbie's case. That doctor he gets might come in one day and tell him, but we'll find out. Roy Keane says, City, Liverpool and Chelsea dip back in after player sales. It's just that simple. Kivior, Martinelli, Trossard, Zinchenko, Vieira, Jesus, Nelson, Sambi still here. I mean, that is part of, you are right, but our frustration also comes from then go and do it. Don't sit around waiting to try and sell a player magically that you struggled to sell for a year, 2 years in a Sambi, in a Vieira, in a Zinchenko even. Go actively look at your side and say, Martinelli, it hasn't worked out. You need a fresh start. We need a fresh start. Let's move you on. Get the money in. The point is we wait around to the point where, we are probably handicapped in a sense where none of our players are wanted. And the ones that are Kivior and Trossard are ones we should be keeping. That's the two out of this list. Kivior and Trossard are the two, in my opinion, there should be no debate on. We need to keep them because they've stepped in and stepped up. And if injuries come about, this depth that we, talk of all the time, surely you want to keep the players that have stepped in and stepped up. So everyone else on that list, be active with it. Why is it taking so long? I don't, we need to move quick. Big up DM Arsenal Archives, bro. Curtis, if you ain't seen this channel, they got every game from the 90s seasons, the 2000 seasons. I can't lie. Yeah, I'll go through them. I go through them quite often. Hence why I'm always angry on here talking about the current state, because I still watch the good old days. Vieira, Zinchenko, Nelson lucky to get 10-15 mil. Martinelli, if I was a rival buying him, I'd take a punt at 30 M's max. Trossard at 30, hit and miss. 15-20 mil max. Our selling's bad because the players ain't all that. But I think like a Martinelli can get a Saudi move. If Liverpool can get 50 M's for Nunes or 70 M's for Diaz, surely we can get 50, 64 for Martinelli. With the rest, I kind of agree with you. Like Curtis said, the wages are so, to be honest, Martinelli's wages. Isn't he on 170?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, we're fucked.
Yeah, that's it. Bro, they got all that money in Saudi. We ain't sold one player to Saudi. Make that make sense.
Yeah.
Not one.
We need a Saudi director of football or something, man. Come in, man. Let's just have all them links there, man. Forget Brazil, forget La Liga. Let's just we need something over there. Brothers in Arsenal says if the club bottle this Eze deal and he goes to Spurs, that would be unforgivable. You know how many times I've heard if the club does this, it's unforgivable, and the club have gone on to do the unforgivable over the last 20 years. I'm with you. We need that one more piece this window. Noni should only be backup. One piece, I still think it's two, but we're in a position where the reality is it's going to be one piece at best. Too busy grafting says comes down to the ambition of the Kroenkes. Record revenues, profit last summer. Why are we selling to buy? We're nowhere near PSR. We should be able to sign Madueke. Eze Ornstein reported Arteta convinced him a month ago. Should be and do is two different things. How did we have 90 million saved to spend last year PSR wise after going for Sterling on loan the last day of the summer window? Because do you want to take that risk or do you want to save the money? And more often than not, Arsenal want to save the money. The proof's in the pudding. Go back. There's only one window in our Emirates era history where you can say, wow, this club really tried. And that's the Declan Rice Havertz window. And even then, the talent ID for one of those players, I'm still reeling from 2 years later.
Yeah.
BB again says Yokere's injury, back to Havertz. Zubamendi injury, Norgard. Raya injury, Kepa. Saka injury, Madueke. It's not about depth only. It's quality as well.
Yeah.
I agree. Too busy grafting. Not even a fan of Noni, but we shouldn't have to pick between him or Eze or a left winger. The money is there. The accounts are public. There's nowhere to hide. They are. And to be honest, I need to go back through them again and maybe just do a video breaking down how and why we can still be spending money. Because so many people talk from a place of, I don't know, super fandom when, the club can do nothing wrong and everything has an excuse. Fizzy says, can we stop the Noni disrespect already? He's ours now. They wanted him. They got him. I don't think either of us have disrespected Noni on this stream.
No.
We cannot agree with the signing, and we can say, we're worried, but that's not disrespect.
No.
We are supporters, fans of the football club, customers to these owners. Surely we can give our opinions. Would you take Lookman? I would have taken him last year and January.
Yeah, I'd take him now.
Yeah. Because you see Kvara go, if Rodrygo goes City, it's so long.
Yeah.
Is it make or break for Mikel? But it is make or break for Mikel. But I want to stress it's going to be the same cycle under this ownership. How can we get 89 points and make a profit the summer after? That was probably, up there with the very, I don't even know what to call it, the very piss-taking summers we've ever had.
Last summer, one of the worst in the club's history for me.
Yeah.
We said it, didn't we, bro? We were giving 3 out of 10s and that. And I remember that show you did on deadline day with Robbie and that, and you were 3 out of 10. And that window last summer was an absolute disgrace. You've got 89 points, trying to win a title, and you bring in Marino, Sterling, Calafiori, and Neto.
Neto was cup tied. Sterling played 3 games.
Bro.
Injured most of the season. Even though I like Calafiori, hopefully he stays fit. And Marino, odd player wise, but after an 89-point season where you finish second twice in a row, that's not the window you go and have. And if we actually had a proper window, and you look at, you know,
the way
Liverpool,
the season went,
we coulda, woulda, shoulda. That's our Emirates era. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. It's very rare a club has a perfect window covering every gap. Reality is, even if we have 90% of the tools, back of our head, we know Arteta ain't it. I'm kind of with you, because I feel like a Gyökeres or Rodrygo. I mean, Arteta still hasn't proven that he can manage a big character. If that makes sense. I think I don't even think Rodrygo, in terms of a character off the pitch sense, is. I think he's very much a you know, what do you want me to do and I'll do it type of player, which fits the mold. But I'm struggling to, if Arteta gets these players, I think he is then exposed a little, because he's then working outside of his comfort zone. I think the hope that Martinelli picks it up this summer, and Havertz starts kicking on a bit more, and I think the hope is partly there because of the relationship. Or like Wenger had that a lot. Wenger would, continue with a Mustafi, continue with a Bellerin, continue with a Xhaka, continue with Bentner, in the hope that because I get along with you, hopefully it works out, and my job isn't harder than it is.
Yeah.
Congrats on 100K, Curtis. Are you guys having a wager on who gets the 200K first? Nah, man. It's not a race.
Nah, man.
It's not a race.
Nah.
Patience. That's how we've built our thing over the years. Patience. And here we are. Here we are doing our thing. I'm going to keep at it. JM says, regarding lack of creativity, we can't have our cake and eat it. Why not? If we have cake, you must eat. What are we doing with the cake? In the fridge, bro. I don't get this saying. Sunday, we play with 4 centre-backs and 2 DMs as an example. All stems from Mikel's risk-reward approach. Yes, I get you, but that's where he needs to open up. That's where, instead of Norgard, I would have signed a Rodgers or the EZE, for example, where if Zubamendi's injured, then you've got Rice to slot in, because I think Norgard is a poor man's Rice. If you look at the profile in the 6, in terms of he can break up play and he can just pass it forward, and that's his job done. So yeah, I mean, I get you, but I don't get this. I don't get that saying, brother. I know you didn't make up that saying, but if you got cake, you must eat.
You can't have your cake and eat it. When you think about it, the saying doesn't make sense, does it? You bring me the you know what I mean? What's going on?
Well, I'm meant to just look at it and just say, oh, man got cake, but I can't eat
it. That's what Arsenal do to you, isn't it? They make you think you can't have sort of.
It's true. Just look at the cake, but don't you dare put a fork in that cake. Don't you dare. Got a couple here from Pavanjit saying, Turkish, when are you going to violate Robbie for telling you at the start of the window Arsenal bidding for ISAK and unsettling the player is a stupid idea because Newcastle won't sell, and you, quote, don't want to ruin their relationship with them? Coming soon. I mean,
what a comment that is, by the way, man. I remember you saying that. Drop 150 million. No, you can't ruin relationships. You think Liverpool care about that relationship right now?
And now them same people, them same people that were saying you can't, like, you don't do that, are the same people saying he just wants Liverpool. That's all he wants. Really? Like, or did he look at Liverpool's interest and say, yes, like, I'm out now? Who knows if another club went in for him earlier? Who knows what would have happened? And he had Broski. If it was the other way around, Robbie would be jumping up and saying, I told you so. That's because it's few and far between he gets chances to do that. Now Isak's going to Liverpool after they unsettled him, as you predicted he would if a club pushed for him. 100%, that's coming back up. We ain't done a Gunners Unfiltered in a while. I think we're doing one tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. So I'll be sure to bring these up without a doubt. It's got to be done. But you know, he just resets and then carries on the nonsense the next day. Red Square says that Madueke signing looking funny in the light after the EZE news. I don't like the abuse, but fans who opposed it are now being vindicated. No peas now. Do you remember the whole EZE and Madueke deal are separate?
Yeah. Ornstein.
Very separate. Very separate. Southern Guna says, seems to me we are always 2 steps behind heading into the season, and then we get the repercussions throughout. I mean, this stretches back to Wenger days in the Emirates era too. Let's not forget. A couple of years we're 1-2 players away, and because in those couple of years you don't get the 1-2 players, you find yourself 4-5 players away. And I'm sorry, but we're amidst that sort of, the striker was the final piece in 2024. We need 3 pieces in 2025 minimum. You'd fuck about again the next year with a couple contracts going into a year left. Okay, we'll see how many pieces we need. The name says, how can we call a window positive when we're still talking about how we lack quality and depth to win a major? 2 out of 10 window, long season ahead. Big up you both. I hear you. My thing is just 5 out of 10 is average. And I think Zubimendi and Gyökeres are class signings. I like the look of Mosquera. Madueke for me is minus. Kepa, he doesn't even, touch the dial. And who else am I missing?
Norgard,
I couldn't care less either, really. That doesn't touch the dial either. So for me, that coupled up with contracts is a good thing. Ranieri, Gabriel, Skelly, yeah. There's one more I'm sure I forgot. But the outgoings have been poor, and the reality is there's a couple of players that seem to be on the move that we should be going for. So that will also have an effect on the rating. So at the moment, 5. If Rodrygo goes City, that affects my rating. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Bringing it down. Big up all in the building. Feels like we're stuck in a time loop the last 2 years. Bad mid transfer window equals we need more players, equals nothing in January, equals quote, we were close next year. Oh, we were close next year, next season, Evra, Netflix, all of that. I'm with you, Or. Big up Or as well, man, who helped build that Big 6 app as well. So yeah, more on that on the Big 6. Man. Ashley says, every time Ornstein mentions a left winger for Arsenal on his podcast, he brings up Gordon's name. So that means Sancho loan on deadline day. Sancho, I mean,
he likes taking out of the dustbin, man. You Garnacho, Sancho, someone like that.
It's mad. Don't laugh too soon, brother. I'm telling you, we'll be doing OG's 2nd of September flipping. Aslan says, this true juggernauts of England have shown themselves this window. My club gonna drop 300 million plus without sales. We'll get in Belieber from 15th and no Champions League. Man United are a juggernaut, and you make more money than us. I'm not saying that's the reason and or excuse for it. What I'm saying is there is things Arsenal's board, Arsenal's ownership can do to allow us to spend more funds. Like in January, there was a rule change in direct loans, right? And for example, when that rule change was coming in, the owners of every club had a decision to make. Either they do something that takes the complete debt away from the club and they make it shares, so they turn the debt into shares or something, or they continue the debt on the club and the new interest rates apply to the club, right? For example, Marinakis chose to, liquidate the debt or whatever, turn it into shares. Yeah. So there's nothing on Forest off the back of that rule change. Kroenkes, what do you think they decided to do? The debt is still here with the new interest rates. Yeah. So that money they borrowed us that apparently was debt free is not debt free. And they chose
them money.
Yep, they chose to do that. People wonder why I keep on going back to them. JM says the cake and eat analogy is me saying we need to reduce the defensive-minded first players on the pitch. We rate our back line while sacrificing an Alves. No, I got an Alves type of football. I actually got what you're saying. It's just the analogy. Like, not you're not the creator of the analogy. The analogy itself, I've never got it. Like, because every time I've got cake, I'm eating it. And what he might go in the fridge for a night, but I'm back to eating it the next day. And no one telling me I can't eat that cake, brother. Any FPL leagues? Yep, I'll put one in. I need to sort it out over the next 24 hours. I'll be live probably Friday. I'll put one in the description. Big Six got one as well. It was in the description on Monday's show. It'll be there Thursday. I think you got one in it.
Yeah, I got one as well. Yeah, it's one there.
That's on Curtis Shaw TV. So if you go to his last live stream or his next one, you'll see it in the description. No one talking about how boring we are to watch. I mean, the season starts throughout pre-season. We were boring until Bilbao, more a Bilbao type of performance, and I'm sure that whole boring tag can be lifted a little because that performance was fluid, transition was sweet. We were creating chances. We looked a lot better. But again, when you're starving, a lot of things taste good. That's it on the super chat front.
Yes.
Last one though, last question. Rodrygo City. Do you think that happens?
I'm gonna say no. He played last night and he scored and he just looked very happy. I've never got the impression he wants out. But then, if City drop a big bag of money, do Madrid push him out the door and say, because Madrid are one of them clubs, if they don't want you, you're going. So I suppose it depends on the offer. And now I'm seeing today that it looks like they're at the front of the queue for Donnarumma, which I cannot believe PSG are letting him go because he was unreal last year. But apparently his wage demands, he's asking for nearly 300 grand, and Enrique saying they want a ball-playing goalkeeper. Apparently he's not great on the ball.
You see Enrique say he nearly joined Tottenham in 2023.
What he did as manager, didn't he? Yeah,
that's what he said.
Yeah, I saw that.
That means 2026, we don't win anything. That Enrique, come do the treble here as well, mate. You'll be the greatest. So,
bro, Enrique's a great manager as well. I remember when he wasn't getting the credit. People go, he's only done it at Barca with Messi, Neymar, Suarez, but he's proved now, man, he's a top manager. Yeah. But listen, if Rodrygo ends up at Man City again, I'm asking massive questions about Arsenal, because how have you then allowed Kvaratskhelia and Rodrygo to move in 2 windows when we are desperate for a left winger? And obviously, I've been saying Leao for a long time. He's another winger that I would take. And AC Milan, I read something yesterday, AC Milan are in massive financial problems. They've sold Reinders, they've sold Theo Hernandez, they've just sold this centre-back to Newcastle. They need money, so you could go and get a Leao from AC Milan. So there's no excuse to not have a left winger by the end of this window. There's none.
Yeah, well, there was no excuse in January, but we still done it. But, you said the questions and they'll keep on coming because, these owners ain't on it. Arteta's moving mad and... 3 weeks left of the window. 3 weeks? Around just under 3 weeks left of the window. So we'll see. But game week 1, United, before we go, prediction? Early prediction.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going for a 2-1 win, which 2-1 is like the win prediction when you're not totally sure.
That's what I'm going with, because
that's where we're at. This game at Old Trafford kind of sums up Arsenal. Like, we could finish 4th this season. We could finish 2nd. Like, I don't know. And going to Old Trafford, opening day of the season, man, Old Trafford will be a difficult game. They got a new front three. They got a new hope. It'll be a tough game. If we go there and play well, I think we'll have too much for them. But you just never know with Arsenal, do you? You never know. I don't really know how that game's going to look. I don't really rate that Man United system. I think they can be got at with the 3 at the back.
Yeah.
But Cunha and Buemo, Sesko's going to have a point to prove. Cunha's a good player and Bremo's good. It's going to be a very interesting game. I think everyone will want to watch that game. That's for sure. I'll go 2-1.
Yeah, I'm going 2-1. Like you said, it's that default type of, I'm going to back them, but I don't know about this one. We'll see. We'll see. All right, cool. That's it. I was going to mention ISAK, but that guy's Newcastle. Just hold on, man. Just hold on, Newcastle, man. Tell that guy to relax. Going on strike.
I think he's gone too far, bro. He's moved house. He's saying, I won't play even if you don't sell me.
He moved house. Where did he move to?
Didn't they say he's moved out his house? Like they're saying he's homeless. You know what I'm saying?
That guy better chill, bro.
No, he ain't chilling.
One of them man need to pull out the Denzel and just tell him he'll be playing basketball in Pelican Bay if he doesn't fucking up, bro.
Bro,
you ain't messing about, bro. How you making yourself homeless to leave, brother?
he's done.
You better find the flat, bro, because you're staying one more year. If I was owner, their owners are rich as well. I'll just call him and say,
You
yo,
should just bad him up, innit?
Bad him up, man. 3 years on his contract. Is he mad?
Say, bro, listen, man, we can't buy a replacement. You're going nowhere. Take that house off the market.
Yeah,
you
bro.
ain't. Yeah.
Airbnb it for a year, bro. You're here, brother.
You know what I mean? That guy is, yo. And listen, like, we've spoken about it and you've mentioned it. Like, what Liverpool have done to him is what I want to see Arsenal do to clubs.
Exactly.
Because the moment the full-time whistle went at the end of last season, people said you can't get ISAK. They got Champions League football and they won a trophy. And I said multiple times, well, how come we lost so many players when we was in the Champions League? Players are not that bothered about playing in the Champions League. They want to be at a club that can win it. And he knows Newcastle can't win the Champions League. They can't win the Premier League. So once that Liverpool noise turned up, the guys started acting crazy. So, you know, that's how football is, man. There's a food chain, and Newcastle are down that food chain, and they're learning the hard way.
And we're vegan, bro. We're vegan.
Yo, I was moving like Bellerin.
We're a vegan big six side. Let's be real here, bro. We eat grass, leaves, and vegetables.
I said we're a vegan big six club. That is a madness.
Let's be honest. Since Sol Campbell, I haven't seen us, you know, attack the food chain like a real animal. Do you get what I'm saying?
Like, no, we don't. We don't.
We're gluten free. Look, the man them know gluten free, vegan, bro. It's all of that, man. We're fucked, bro.
Bro, speaking about it the other day, yeah, you know when you watch them animal programs, yeah, David Attenborough.
Yeah,
I don't know what they are. People were telling me different things, but they look like deers in it.
Okay, yeah.
It would just be a little brown deer or something. I don't know what they're called. We'll be standing there in the sun, just having a great time, just chewing on berries and leaves and that. But you don't know there's a lion 10 yards away creeping behind you. We're them little deers, bro. I'm telling you. We chew the odd leaf and a few berries, grab a mad wakey but you know what I mean? These Liverpool's Man Cities, bro. They're that lion creeping behind. Gazelle. There you go. We're Gazelle FC.
Yeah, like we are, because there's a few different animals that can get us. There's a few different animals that can get us.
There's a few, man. There's a few.
Nah,
definitely not. Man said we're a vegan big six club. That's legendary.
We're vegan, bro. And to be honest, Liverpool were closer to vegan up until this summer. All of a sudden, they're T-Rex, bro, the way they're moving. So...
no, they're going mad. Jurassic Park, bro. They're stomping through the transfer market.
Bro, they're moving crazy, bro. Like,
bro, you know how mad they're going on, yeah? They're buying a defender from Palmer for like 30 million and saying, yeah, you can have him on loan for a year. That's how much dough they're dropping. Yeah, just have him. We'll come back for him in 12 months.
Fuck's sake, man.
Oh, God.
Stop being vegan, man. That's the next hashtag, man. We want to get out there, man. All right, my bro. Listen, are you going live later or anything today?
I got a pre-record today. I might do a watch-along for that Super Cup game. But then if I see Tottenham win a Super Cup, that ain't going to help the mood. So I'm in two minds. We'll see. We'll see.
Imagine they win Super Cup and get EZE. It's just like, I don't like seeing them happy. Not that I'm worried about them, but I don't... You can't be happy. Fuck that. You can't be happy. But listen, people, subscribe to Curtis Shaw TV. The link is in the description. We've got one here from P23 saying Arsenal are that meme. Quote, what are you doing? Who, me? Nothing. Just hanging out. Hanging out a bit too much. We've been, you know, the whole narrative is since we signed Gyökeres is we're going to sell players now. 3 weeks later, what are their man doing? They do got the barbecues out and invited Bert around or something, because I don't really understand what's going on. The last 3 weeks we're struggling, but yeah, we move. We're going to wrap it up here, people. Curtis Shaw TV, link in the description. He's going to be live later, maybe for the Super Cup final, but he's got pre-records coming out live again tomorrow. I'll be back when I'm back. OGs will be back next week, hopefully, ideally. So make sure you're subscribed, hit up the like button, people, and I'll see you when I see you. Love for the love. We're out. Peace.